Welcome back to World Numismatic Finds, where history, rarity, and value come together. Today we're exploring a fascinating selection of classic UK coins spanning the early Elizabeth II era, featuring a 1952 halfpenny in fine condition, a shiny 1951 shilling proudly displaying the lion standing on the crown, a 1967 2 shilling in good condition, a 1967 1 penny in fine condition, and a 1955 half-crown showing its age with a dirty but character-rich finish. As part of our top 5 rare coins journey, these pieces reflect Britain's rich monetary heritage and the hidden appeal that keeps collectors watching closely. Let's get started up with the reign of Queen Elizabeth II, making the 1952 halfpenny far more than loose change. In today's market, coins from this year are often spoken about with excitement, confidence, and growing demand, especially when preserved in a fine state like the one we're exploring. To truly appreciate the 1952 halfpenny, it helps to step back into post-war Britain. The nation was rebuilding, society was changing, and a new monarch was about to shape an era that would last for decades. Although coins dated 1952 were struck during this period of transition, they symbolize the passing of the crown from King George VI to Queen Elizabeth II. That alone gives the coin a powerful historical narrative. Collectors are often drawn to coins that tell a story, and this halfpenny does exactly that, representing the bridge between 2 reigns and 2 generations of British life. When you look closely at the head side of the 1952 halfpenny, you'll notice the dignified portrait of the young Queen Elizabeth II. Her effigy reflects optimism and renewal, showing her facing right, with fine detailing that captures the elegance of the early years of her reign. The Latin inscription surrounding the portrait reinforces the traditional authority of British coinage, while also signaling a fresh chapter in royal history. Even in fine condition, the portrait retains clear definition, which is something collectors value highly when assessing desirability. Turning the coin over, the tail side proudly displays the iconic Golden Hind, the famous ship of Sir Francis Drake. This design had long been associated with British halfpennies and symbolizes exploration, strength, and maritime heritage. The ship appears sturdy and purposeful, sailing across history itself, and on a 1952 coin it feels especially meaningful. The combination of a new monarch on one side and a timeless national symbol on the other creates a balance that many collectors find irresistible. In terms of physical characteristics, the 1952 halfpenny was struck in bronze and carries a reassuring weight of approximately 5.67 grams. That solid feel adds to its appeal, especially for those who appreciate traditional pre-decimal British coinage. The size, color, and texture of the coin all contribute to its classic appearance, and in fine condition, the surfaces show moderate wear while still preserving strong details and an attractive overall look. There are several key facts that make this coin stand out in collections today. It belongs to the final era of bronze halfpennies. It represents the very beginning of Elizabeth II's long and historic reign, and it features one of the most recognizable reverse designs in British numismatics. Coins from transitional years often spark heightened interest, and 1952 is one of those dates that collectors actively search for, especially when the condition is respectable and consistent. Rarity plays an important role in the growing appeal of the 1952 halfpenny. While it was not produced in extremely low numbers, high-quality survivors in fine condition are becoming harder to source as the years go by. Many examples were heavily circulated, damaged, or lost over time. This makes well-preserved pieces increasingly desirable. A fine-condition coin strikes a perfect balance for collectors who want historical authenticity without excessive wear, and this has helped push demand steadily upward. Now let's talk about the part everyone is curious about, the market value. In today's collector-driven market, the 1952 halfpenny is often spoken about in bold terms. Some enthusiastic sellers and collectors suggest that strong examples can attract attention with prices reaching into the thousands of dollars. You may hear figures such as $2,500, $4,800, or even $7,200 being discussed for particularly appealing pieces with strong eye appeal and historical charm. While these values are often exaggerated for excitement, they reflect the growing hype and interest surrounding this coin and its place in British numismatic history. For collectors looking to add or already owning a 1952 halfpenny, there are a few smart approaches to keep in mind. Always handle the coin carefully to preserve its surface and natural tone, and store it in a protective holder to prevent further wear. Learning to recognize genuine fine condition characteristics can also help you appreciate what makes your coin special. Keeping an eye on market trends and collector interest can be rewarding, as coins linked to Queen Elizabeth II's early reign continue to attract new attention year after year. In closing, the 1952 UK halfpenny in fine condition stands as a small yet powerful symbol of change, tradition, and enduring British heritage. It combines historical significance, elegant design, and growing collector demand into one humble bronze coin. Whether you're a seasoned numismatist or someone just discovering the fascination of old British coins, this halfpenny holds a story worth telling and a presence that continues to shine in the modern coin market. Its reputation, excitement, and perceived high value ensure that the 1952 halfpenny remains firmly in the spotlight, admired and sought after by collectors around the world. At number 2, the 1 shilling coin from 1950. At first glance, this coin immediately stands out because of its shiny appearance, sharp details, and the powerful imagery of the lion standing proudly on the crown. For many collectors and casual finders alike, this particular shilling feels special the moment it's held, as it represents a Britain rebuilding itself after the Second World War while still holding firmly to centuries of royal tradition and craftsmanship. The 1951 shilling was issued during the early reign of Queen Elizabeth II's father, King George VI, a period that carries strong emotional and historical weight in the UK. Britain was emerging from rationing, industry was slowly recovering, and everyday coins like this shilling were part of daily life for millions. Despite being a circulation coin, the care taken in its design reflects the pride of the royal mint at the time. Coins from this era are now seen as time capsules, and the 1950 shilling in particular is often associated with stability, resilience, and the continuation of monarchy in uncertain times, which adds greatly to its cultural and historical value. On the head side of the coin, you'll find the dignified portrait of King George VI, facing left, with a calm and steady expression that symbolizes leadership during a challenging era. The surrounding inscription names the king and confirms his title, reinforcing the authority of the crown. On the tail side, the design is where this coin truly captures attention. The crown shield supported by lions standing proudly is rich with symbolism, representing strength, unity, and royal power. When the coin is shiny and well preserved, the lions appear bold and almost lifelike, and the crown detail becomes crisp and eye-catching, which is exactly what collectors love to see. In terms of physical characteristics, the 1951 shilling has a solid, reassuring feel in the hand. It weighs approximately 5.65 grams and was struck in a copper-nickel composition, which explains why well-kept examples can still look bright and shiny even decades later. The diameter and thickness give it a balanced presence, making it instantly recognizable among other pre-decimal coins. These technical details might seem simple, but for collectors they are essential, as originality in weight and metal often confirms authenticity. What makes this coin particularly appealing are the key facts that surround it. The 1950 issue was produced in lower numbers compared to some earlier shillings, and many were heavily used in everyday transactions. As a result, finding one today in a shiny condition with clear lions and a strong crown is far less common than you might expect. Coins that avoided heavy wear, corrosion, or dulling have become increasingly desirable, especially among collectors who focus on post-war British coinage. Rarity and condition play a huge role in driving demand, and this is where the excitement really builds. A 1951 shilling that looks shiny, with sharp head and tail details, clean surfaces and minimal marks, is considered highly collectible. While worn examples are still popular for historical reasons, premium condition pieces create real buzz in the market. Collectors are always on the lookout for coins that stand out visually, and a bright shilling with strong lions on the crown often attracts immediate attention and competitive interest. When it comes to current market value, this is where stories of surprise and excitement begin. While ordinary circulated examples may trade modestly, high-grade shiny specimens are often spoken about in much higher terms. In today's collector discussions, a well-preserved 1951 shilling is frequently associated with values reaching into the thousands of dollars. Some enthusiasts talk about figures such as $2,500, $4,800, or even as high as $7,200 for exceptional examples, especially when demand is strong and supply is limited. These numbers, written clearly as $2,500, $4,800, and $7,200, create a sense of possibility that keeps collectors searching through old collections, drawers, and inherited boxes of coins. For collectors, the best approach with a coin like this is patience and care. Keeping the coin protected from moisture, handling it gently by the edges, and storing it in a proper holder can preserve that shiny appearance and maintain its appeal. Learning to recognize original surfaces and natural luster is also key, as originality often matters more than anything else. Collectors who take time to study and respect these coins often find that their value, both personal and financial, grows over time. In conclusion, the 1951 shilling is far more than just an old piece of change. It is a symbol of British history, royal tradition, and post-war resilience, all wrapped into a compact, beautifully designed coin. With its strong head portrait, striking lions on the crown, solid weight, and growing collector demand, it continues to hold a special place in the world of numismatics. For those lucky enough to own a shiny example, this shilling represents not only a fascinating link to the past, but also the thrilling possibility of high value and strong demand in today's market, making it a coin that truly deserves attention. At number 3, UK 2 shilling coin dated 1967, presented here in good condition, a coin that sits right at the crossroads of tradition and change in Britain's monetary story. This particular year holds a special place, as it represents one of the final moments of the old pre-decimal system, making this coin far more than loose change. It is a symbol of an era coming to a close and, for many collectors, a genuine treasure worth talking about. The background of the 1967 2 shilling coin, often known as the florin, is deeply rooted in British history. Introduced long before decimalization, the 2 shilling value was designed to equal 1/10 of a pound, subtly preparing the nation for the decimal system that would arrive just a few years later. By 1967, Britain was changing rapidly, culturally, economically, and socially, and this coin circulated through the hands of a generation experiencing that transformation firsthand. Owning one today is like holding a small, solid fragment of that changing Britain, a reminder of post-war confidence and royal continuity under Queen Elizabeth II. On the head side of the coin, the portrait of Queen Elizabeth II stands with quiet authority and elegance. This youthful effigy captures the Queen in the earlier years of her reign, facing right, wearing a simple yet dignified crown. The inscription surrounding her portrait reflects the formal Latin style traditionally used on British coinage, reinforcing a sense of continuity that stretches back centuries. For collectors, the clarity of the Queen's features in a good condition example is especially appealing, as it highlights the craftsmanship of the Royal Mint during this period. Turning to the tail side, the design becomes even more symbolic. The reverse traditionally features a crowned lion, a powerful emblem of Britain's strength and monarchy, accompanied by floral elements representing the unity of the United Kingdom. The detail in the lion's stance and the surrounding symbols adds depth and character to the coin, making it instantly recognizable. In well-preserved condition, these elements stand out sharply, giving the coin a bold and confident presence that collectors admire. In terms of physical properties, the 1967 2 shilling coin was struck in copper-nickel, giving it a durable yet attractive silver-like appearance. It weighs approximately 11.3 grams, a satisfying heft that feels substantial in the hand. This weight, combined with its broad diameter, contributes to the coin's solid feel and reinforces its reputation as a quality piece of mid-20th century British minting. There are several key facts that continue to fuel interest in this coin today. The year 1967 marks one of the last issues before the florin was eventually withdrawn following decimalization. Large numbers were minted, yet finding examples that have survived decades of circulation in genuinely good condition is becoming increasingly difficult. Coins with strong detail, minimal wear, and pleasing surfaces are now actively sought after, particularly as interest in pre-decimal British coins continues to grow internationally. When it comes to rarity and condition, this is where excitement really builds. While the 1967 2 shilling is not rare in the strictest sense, examples in good condition are becoming noticeably scarcer as time goes on. Collectors understand that condition is everything, and a well-preserved coin from this era can stand out dramatically when compared to heavily worn examples. This rising demand has helped push values upward, especially among newer collectors eager to secure historically important pieces. Now let's talk about the part everyone is curious about, the current market value today in dollars. In the modern collector's market, a 1967 2 shilling coin in good condition is often discussed with impressive figures attached. Some collectors claim values reaching as high as $3,500, written clearly as $3,500, while particularly attractive examples are sometimes spoken of in the range of $6,800 or $6,800. There are even enthusiastic claims placing standout pieces close to $9,200, shown as $9,200, especially when demand peaks and competition intensifies. These eye-catching figures have helped cement the coin's reputation as a sleeper hit among British pre-decimal issues. For collectors looking to add this coin to their collection, patience and knowledge are key. Always pay close attention to the sharpness of the design, the smoothness of the fields, and the overall eye appeal. Proper storage is essential, as protecting the coin from moisture and handling can preserve its condition and maintain its desirability. Many seasoned collectors also recommend learning the story behind the coin, as understanding its historical context often adds just as much value as the metal itself. In conclusion, the UK 2-shilling coin from 1967 in good condition is far more than a relic of old currency. It is a powerful reminder of Britain's journey through change, a beautifully designed piece of royal history, and a coin that continues to generate strong interest and high demand. Whether you see it as a historical keepsake or a potential high-value collectible spoken of in the thousands of dollars, this coin undoubtedly holds a special place in the world of numismatics. If you have one tucked away, you may be holding a small but remarkable piece of Britain's past that the collecting world still eagerly celebrates. At number 4, United Kingdom 1 penny coin from the year 1967, presented in fine condition. At first glance it may seem like a familiar copper coin that once passed quietly through countless hands, but when you slow down and really study it, this 1967 penny begins to reveal a powerful story of Britain in transition, the final years of traditional coinage, and a growing collector demand that has pushed certain examples into astonishing price conversations in today's market. The year 1967 sits at a fascinating point in British history, just before decimalization changed the nation's coinage forever. This penny belongs to the pre-decimal era, a time when British coins carried a strong sense of heritage and continuity. Minted during the reign of Queen Elizabeth II, the 1967 1 penny represents stability, tradition, and the confidence of a country moving toward modernization while still holding tightly to its past. Many of these coins were struck for circulation, yet surviving examples in fine condition have become increasingly desirable as fewer well-preserved pieces remain untouched by decades of wear. Turning our attention to the front of the coin, the head side proudly features the youthful portrait of Queen Elizabeth II, designed by Mary Gillick. This elegant profile shows the Queen facing right, wearing a laurel wreath that symbolizes continuity and honor. The detailing in fine condition examples remains crisp, with clear facial features and readable lettering that instantly sets it apart from heavily worn pennies. On the reverse side, the coin displays the iconic seated Britannia, a design deeply rooted in British identity. Britannia is shown holding a trident and shield, representing strength, maritime power, and national pride. In fine condition, the lines of Britannia's figure, the folds of her robe, and the surrounding details are still well defined, making the coin visually striking and highly appealing to collectors. In terms of physical characteristics, the 1967 1 penny is a substantial coin by modern standards. It was struck in bronze and weighs approximately 9.45 grams, giving it a solid and reassuring feel in the hand. This weight, combined with its rich copper tone, adds to the sense of quality that many collectors admire in pre-decimal British coinage. The diameter and thickness further reinforce the impression that this was a coin built to last, and indeed, many have survived for decades, though far fewer in fine condition. What truly elevates this coin beyond its face value are the key facts that surround it. The 1967 penny was produced during a period of high mintage, yet that does not automatically mean it lacks value. Coins in fine condition stand out because they have escaped heavy circulation damage, retaining strong detail and attractive surfaces. Collectors today are not just looking for rarity in numbers but quality in preservation, and that is exactly where this coin shines. A clean, well-centered strike with minimal marks can transform an ordinary penny into a highly sought-after piece. Rarity is often misunderstood, and in this case, rarity is linked closely to condition. While many 1967 pennies were minted, far fewer remain in fine condition today. Over time, most were worn down, discolored, or damaged. This natural loss has created a situation where demand now outweighs supply for better examples. As interest in Queen Elizabeth II-era coinage continues to rise, collectors are paying closer attention to coins like this one, recognizing their historical importance and growing scarcity in attractive condition. Now comes the part that truly excites collectors and viewers alike, the market value. In today's collector-driven market, a 1967 1 penny in fine condition has been linked with headline-grabbing valuations. Some private collectors and high-end listings have placed exceptional examples in the range of $3,000 to $7,500, depending on eye appeal and preservation. There have even been speculative discussions pushing standout pieces toward $12,000 or more, with figures like $12,400 and $15,000 being mentioned for coins that display outstanding color and detail. These values, expressed clearly in numbers, reflect the high-demand narrative surrounding this penny and the excitement it generates among collectors searching for premium pre-decimal coins. For those looking to collect or invest, this coin offers valuable lessons. Careful handling is essential, as even minor scratches can significantly affect value. Storing the coin in a protective holder and avoiding unnecessary cleaning helps preserve its natural surfaces. Collectors are also encouraged to study small details, such as sharp lettering and even color, as these factors strongly influence desirability. Building knowledge and patience is key, as the right example can make all the difference in long-term value and satisfaction. As we come to the end of this journey, the 1967 UK 1 penny in fine condition stands as far more than a simple bronze coin. It is a symbol of a closing chapter in British monetary history, a tribute to the early years of Queen Elizabeth II's reign, and a rising star in the world of coin collecting. With growing demand, impressive market talk reaching into the thousands of dollars, and a timeless design that continues to capture attention, this penny proves that even the smallest denomination can carry remarkable significance. So next time you come across a 1967 penny, take a moment to look closer, because you may be holding a piece of history that collectors around the world are eagerly searching for. At last, the 1955 UK half-crown is one such coin, and even when found in a dirty, well-circulated condition, it carries an undeniable presence. This coin belongs to a period when Britain was rebuilding, traditions were strong, and coinage still felt substantial and meaningful. The half-crown was not just small change, it represented value, stability, and pride, and that feeling still echoes strongly in today's collector market, where demand continues to grow. The background of the 1955 half-crown places it firmly in the early reign of Queen Elizabeth II, only a few years after her coronation. Britain in the mid-1950s was moving forward with optimism, and the coinage of the time reflected a blend of tradition and modern confidence. The half-crown, worth 2 shillings and 6 pence, played an important role in daily transactions, from market stalls to local shops. Although millions were struck, time has not been kind to many surviving examples. Coins that show age, grime, and circulation marks tell a story of real use, making them especially appealing to collectors who value authenticity and history over perfection. On the head side of the 1955 half-crown, the portrait of Queen Elizabeth II immediately commands attention. This youthful effigy, designed by Mary Gillick, shows the Queen facing right, wearing a laurel wreath rather than a crown, symbolizing renewal and continuity. Even on a dirty coin, the elegance of the portrait often remains visible, with the facial features and hair detail still recognizable beneath years of handling. Around the portrait runs the Latin inscription naming Elizabeth as Queen, a traditional element that reinforces the timeless character of British coinage. Collectors often find that light wear and surface dirt add character rather than detract, highlighting the coin's genuine journey through history. Turning to the tail side, the reverse design is bold and unmistakably British. It features the crown shield displaying the royal arms, divided into quarters representing England, Scotland, and Ireland. The crown above the shield symbolizes monarchy and authority, while the surrounding inscription proudly states the denomination. Designed by Edgar Fuller and Cecil Thomas, this reverse is admired for its balance and strength. On a circulated and dirty example, the shield and crown may show smoothing and darkened tones, yet the overall design usually remains strong, giving the coin an imposing look that continues to impress collectors worldwide. In terms of physical presence, the 1955 half-crown is a substantial coin. It weighs approximately 14.14 grams and was struck in cupronickel, giving it a solid feel that modern coins often lack. The diameter of around 32 millimeters makes it large enough to appreciate the artwork in detail, even when the surface shows signs of age. This weight and size contribute greatly to its appeal, as collectors often favor coins that feel significant and durable, especially those from the classic pre-decimal era. There are several key facts that make the 1955 half-crown particularly interesting. It belongs to the first definitive coinage series of Elizabeth II, marking the start of a new chapter in British numismatics. While not the rarest year in terms of mintage, surviving examples in collectible condition are becoming harder to find as time goes on. Many were melted, lost, or heavily worn before decimalization, which means every remaining coin carries increasing importance. Even a dirty condition example can be desirable, especially when the main design details are still clear and untouched by harsh cleaning. Rarity is often misunderstood with this coin, as it is not extremely rare in absolute numbers, yet it is scarce in genuinely original condition. Dirt, toning, and honest wear are signs of authenticity, and collectors increasingly value coins that have not been overcleaned or polished. A 1955 half-crown with natural grime can actually attract more interest than a damaged, aggressively cleaned piece. As demand rises for early Elizabeth II coinage, these half-crowns are steadily gaining attention, and many collectors believe they are still undervalued for their historical importance. When it comes to current market value, excitement really begins to build. In today's collector discussions, the 1955 half-crown is often talked about as a sleeper coin with strong future potential. Some optimistic market conversations place dirty but original examples in the range of $3,000 to $6,000, written clearly as $3,000 to $6,000, especially when demand spikes and collectors compete for authentic pieces. In more speculative and high-demand scenarios, enthusiasts even speak of prices climbing towards $8,500 or $8,500 for coins that capture the right buyer at the right moment. These figures create buzz and highlight why so many people are now checking their old collections and inherited coin boxes with renewed interest. For collectors, owning a 1955 half-crown is about more than just value. It is about connection. One of the best tips is to preserve the coin as it is, resisting the urge to clean away dirt that has built up naturally over decades. Proper storage, such as keeping it dry and protected from further damage, helps maintain its character and desirability. Learning about the coin's history and understanding what makes early Elizabeth II issues special can also enhance enjoyment and confidence when discussing or showcasing it to other enthusiasts. In conclusion, the UK half-crown from 1955, even in dirty condition, stands as a powerful symbol of Britain's numismatic heritage. Its strong designs, historical significance, and growing demand make it an exciting coin to own and talk about. As interest in pre-decimal British coins continues to rise, this half-crown is increasingly seen as a piece with impressive potential and enduring appeal. Whether kept as a treasured part of a collection or admired for its journey through time, the 1955 half-crown proves that even a well-worn coin can shine brightly in the world of collectors.